Oh, 80 films that define the 80s. Now, the 80s films, it really is the best, I guess, filmmaking decade when you have, in terms of mainstream, right, popular films, okay, that had the special effects at the pinnacle, okay, while still having, the actors and actresses having talent, being able to convey, as they say here, right, warmth, right, heart, right. These are very human films, and making these relatively mainstream movies about these, like the apocalypse, right. Comedies, a lot of humor mixed in, funny ghost movies, action films, science fiction action films, you know, you name it. The critical drinker thinks the '90s was the best era for horror films, but he's a younger laddie, so he would think that. Of course, to me, this is the pinnacle. If you're talking about a larger epoch, a larger like mainstream culture, okay. Obviously, so I tried to do a couple of vids in this, and they were taking too long. So I'll just go real quick. Breakfast Club. These were older kids. Wasn't really into it. It was funny. Anthony Michael Hall looks like a little kid. Commando was great. I saw this in the theater. Right. I like this. It was comical. The violence was great. Right? And terrible one-liners, but they're not so terrible. They're hilarious. You get to see once again L.A. Like another L.A. especially is a city that has changed a lot. Uh, and you see it in these films, many shot in Hollywood, obviously. Of course, The Karate Kid saw this. Great story, liked it. But when you see this, right, when you see this film, you're seeing it, obviously, you have this Italian American kid from the East Coast, goes over to California and gets picked on by the blonde baddies. But he learns from this exotic foreigner how to fight them, okay? Now, we know what this paradigm is. Okay, it's not quite what you think you're seeing there. It's ironic that show came out where they reversed who was the sympathetic character. I think that might have been off script a little bit. But I enjoy this film, but I know what this film is trying to do. Okay, and there's a few of these films that I enjoy a lot, where they're doing anyway. Wall Street, didn't see it. That was like an older drama. Although Oliver Stone, talk about a guy who I have reappraised a lot, and towards the good. Do the right thing. Oh please, this friggin' movie. Hated this movie. I actually saw it on videotape. So, yeah, yeah. Remember Spike Lee? I seen Spike Lee walking around my high school. Dude was like 5'3". I remember I was staring at him once. He was getting mad because I was trying to figure out if it was him or not. But this dude, if you think about it, they do the right thing. This took over, right? Guys like Spike Lee, like this paradigm has dominated us now. So, particularly, I remember this character asking for his pay after causing the riot that burns down this guy's pizza shop. Right? Rest in peace, Danny Aiello. Also starring John Turturro. I don't know how to describe John Turturro. Always played the bad Italian guys. However, he is good at playing also repulsive, slimy characters too, like in Coen Brothers films. But anyway, enough of that. Rocky 4. I saw this in the Oceana, which was the place I was showing you in the Brighton Beach video, which was now like kind of a shopping little mini mall or something. I saw this with my mother. And my mother, I remember it was funny. I'm watching at the end when Rocky's beating the hell out of Drago. And my mother started crying. My mother's a very gutsy woman, but very sensitive. And she was crying. She couldn't believe why two men were beating the hell out of each other. Meanwhile, people in the audience were cheering. This is back then when people would cheer on the movies, during the movies, and at the end they would cheer, right? I even looking at my mom, I was kind of like, I wanted to say, Mom, this is a movie about boxing. What do you expect? They're going to punch each other in the head. But, it was great. And if you actually watch this film, it's like, oh, the evil Russian. Well, at the end, though, Rocky, the very underrated Rocky films, by the way, you watch them now, when you think that they're stupid. back, they were cool when you're a kid. Then you think, oh, they're dumb. Stallone is stupid, right? Then you watch them later and you realize these are great films. Very great film. I'll go to Rocky films more later, but it was a plea for peace at the end. Remember? Dune. Saw this. Too freaky for me as a kid. Now it's a cult film, rightfully so. David Lynch making a science fiction epic of the I don't know what you call Dune. Dune is traditionalist science speculative fiction, I guess. Yeah. Blade Runner, another film, man. This film, what did it influence this hard? Okay, your whole dystopia is based visually. We're all based on these, and for good reason, because this accurately predicted kind of the future. I look at Manhattan now, or even Philly skyline, and you're seeing Blade Runner. You're seeing all the rich people and the people on the ground. Okay, and of course these simulates who are being hunted down, the replicants. Excuse me. Great film, great film. The idea that the replicants are more human than the human. And Harrison Ford, man, in his prime, he was a great actor, man. Freaking punching bag in this film. Footloose, another example of that paradigm I'm talking about, where the plucky outsider goes into small town America and is going to show them, to get them out of their rigid ways. Man. I never dug Roger Rabbit. Everyone made a big deal about this film. I mean, other than Bob Hoskins, the great late Bob Hoskins, who's a great actor, one of my favorite actors, I never really thought. But there's plenty of movies that had animation mixed with real life, like that fish movie with Don Knotts, Das Boot. Man, what a film, dude! What a film. Okay. The fact that they were able to make a film from the perspective of the most evil people that ever lived. Then again, it was 1981. Okay, they get more. The German people become more evil as the decades go on after this. Why? You have to ask yourself why, but don't answer the question. What a damn movie, man! Brilliantly shot. Jürgen Prochnow. And just, of course, the end of it. But yeah, the best war movies are gonna come from the losers. Caddyshack. Now, Caddyshack is once again a film using this paradigm. Okay, but I don't care. Caddyshack is fucking hilarious. Rodney Dangerfield is. I love Rodney Dangerfield, man. Like just the first time you see him, right? He's like. He's coming out of the car with the Chinese dude taking pictures. And he's like, Wang, what are you taking pictures for? It's a parking lot. Oh, man. Caddyshack is hilarious. Okay, you have the plucky, heroic Irish kid fighting against the evil Ted Knight, Wasp. Okay, and of course, the Italian kids are kind of kind of bullies and kind of dangerous in it. So... it's keeping with the paradigm. Very interesting. But I don't care. It's hilarious. Bill and Ted, never was a huge fan of Bill and Ted. It was okay. A lot of people love it. Of course, anything in California now is very surreal to see. And I will say Keanu Reeves, didn't like him as an actor in the 90s. But now, just like Nicolas Cage, these dudes, I actually like them now. I like them. Stand By Me. This is a big movie growing up, man. So, Stephen King, right? And you look at the kids here. The chubby kid turned out to be like the kind of, like, I guess, the stud. This kid turned out to be a friggin' SJW nerd cuck. This poor bastard is obviously very damaged by something that was done. Okay, the other Corey is, of course, dead. This one, too, you wonder what he was going through. Of course, River Phoenix has been dead for a long, long time. His brother is, of course, Joaquin is an actor of note now. Also, kind of, I would say weird, but I'm a weirdo. Okay, I'm talking about trauma. I don't even want to know what anymore with this stuff. Of course, Ghostbusters, example, comedy, special effects, funny, human, great act. Come on, dude. This movie was freak. Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, everyone. Sigourney Weaver was hot in this, and my man, Al Ravis. It was funny. It was a good movie. In the old New York, right? Uh, it's for me. It was interesting watching this. I actually saw this in the theater. Occasionally, what happened when you see a movie in a movie theater, the film got off the track and a big hole burned in the middle of the film, and it all turned white, and everyone in the audience started yelling and screaming. So the ushers, remember ushers, right? Man, ushers used to get, that was the worst job to have when I grew up because they used to get into fights and get beat up all the time. Uh, they ushered us out. They changed the film. We went back in and we watched the rest of the movie. Ghostbusters, absolute classic. Terminator. I don't have to say nothing, right? Once again, this is an LA movie, right? So you get, so like this a New York movie, a LA movie. You get to see the old Los Angeles, okay? And it is the changes are even more stark than New York in some ways, but whatever. You got the governor, what he trying to talk about the '80s artifice. This dude, oh, this guy's gonna be an awesome governor. He's gonna terminate you. He's gonna terminate the Democrat. Yeah, joke was on you. So, and then another Arnold film, Predator. But man, this movie, like I keep saying, this is the closest thing to a Robert E. Howard movie you probably ever got, and it was just amazing. It was just I don't have to say anything about Predator. If you haven't seen this, I don't know what to tell you. The Shining, all right, The Shining, the kid. Like I said, I looked like the kid. This is another brilliant film. Okay, Stanley Kubrick made it. Although psychological horror story, it's a supernatural horror story, and I'm not even talking about Stephen King. In the movie, who lets him out of the room? Was it the psychic? Was it the kid doing psychic powers? Why would he do that? Anyway, The Shining. Yeah, it is a masterpiece. Of course, there's a British magazine, so they called this Mad Max 2. Obviously, it was a sequel to Mad Max, but in America, it was just called The Road Warrior because I think Mad Max was kind of the limited release originally. This frigate, come on, man. Bro, come on, bro. This film, man, it's just like, and forget Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson was an awesome actor and director. And it's just, what are you gonna do, man? I mean, the Italian movies that came out after this, it was just a whole genre of films of this. Okay, Batman. See, freaking Batman. So they hyped the hell out of this movie, man. Oh, this is gonna be the dark Batman now. This is gonna be like the Batman in the comics. We're gonna get rid of the Adam West campy Batman. This movie was campy as hell, man. Come on, all those movies were kind of campy. So the second Batman was the best one of these Tim Burton things, but it was just as campy. Yeah. Real quick, Akira. Right, one of the most important. This is one of the best friggin' films ever. Okay, not animated or otherwise. Akira. This film is amazing. I saw this in the. I think it the. What did they call it? The Village East BTD. You remember? I think it was the Village East. I saw this or the Forum. I'm trying to remember where I saw this, but I saw this with my oldest buddy and two other people. I saw this on a big screen with the sound. This was amazing, man. Fucking Akira. Brazil. I saw this on television. Obviously, this is like Terry Gilliam. Actually, talk about visually interesting filmmaker Terry Gilliam. His films, like the Baron Munchausen film, was another one. Jonathan Pryce, what a great actor he was. That guy. I'm just saying, you have all these underrated. I'm saying, British actors are kind of the best actors, but you have a lot of underrated ones too. Airplane, my late fiance's favorite film, along with this film. She loved. Also one of her favorite films was Blazing Saddles. I know, man. I know she's missed. She's definitely missed. But Airplane, man. Of course, Raiders of the Lost Ark. I'll bow this out. See, it took too much. It took too much just to do a quarter of this. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Great movie, right? It was trying to bring back these serial type films. Obviously, now I have a very and there was some scenes in this that were scary, but now, of course, I can't stand any of these Indiana Jones films, man. I can't stand them at all, and I enjoy when they try to make sequels now. This poor bastard's like in his 70s, Just keep pushing it, okay? Because it shows you the reality of it, okay? That this was all an illusion. This was all fake, and you're putting out the dead, the living dead, still now in this country that reflects the country well, in its current state. Anyway.